This week on Ad Library Teardown, where we rank brands from zero to ecom hero, is Timberland. So let's look at how this iconic boot company stacks up against the rest. As a reminder, as we look at the ads library, we're looking at four core variables. We're looking at asset types, frameworks, hooks, and iterations. So right off the bat with asset types, you can see some good product imagery throughout the account. You see some white labeled UGC, which we'll come back to in a second. Also some good lifestyle imagery as we go through here. Big missing piece here, though, for Timberland is motion graphics, totally ignoring that asset type within the account. But looking at framework. So I want to highlight a couple assets that really stood out to me because they were really bad, to be honest. This is an example of an asset that's currently live within the account. It is a product image, but look at all this empty space. Like, this is a horrible use of space. There is so much room for text overlays and ways to really bring this asset to life. I really don't know what Timberland's going for here. So this would be an example of a failed framework in my perspective, because there's so much room to use this as the base for framework testing. Another example is we look at some of their lifestyle content. Now, I'm not the coolest guy. I probably don't have the coolest lifestyle, but I don't understand what lifestyle this is. Why is this girl sitting on the outside of a railing above the ocean? What is that vibe that we're after, Timberland? I really don't understand it. And again, it doesn't speak to me as really honing in on a target consumer. It feels very generic, and I expected more, frankly, from a brand as iconic as Timberland. So right off the bat, not great from an asset type perspective because of the motion graphics, and really not even using the static asset types that we have to the best potential. Kind of disappointed as we dove into the audit here. However, there is one strategy within the account that I do think is Timberland's saving grace, and this is the white labeled UGC. So the way you can tell it's white labeled is it says Timberland with Destiny Kaz. So Destiny Kaz is an influencer. She's a creator. And this is a really great asset. It's a green screen UGC asset where Destiny goes through and highlights the new line of sandals and how they became really her staple shoe for the summer. This is very much aligned, I feel like, with Timberland's brand, and a really nice strategy. So this was the saving grace within the account. But I want to loop back to some of those other assets because I found a brand called Portland Leather Goods, which is a really fast growing, big leather company out of Portland, obviously. And I just wanted to highlight a couple assets as we scroll through here of what Timberland could very easily do with some of those existing assets that they have. Look at all these great text overlays. When you see a product image, if it's not a feed ad, there's text. It's describing, it's showing you what the product is. And one in particular, so simple, but so impactful. Like, imagine this initial sandal ad with some sort of text overlay that just says, Timberland, the iconic boot brand, now bringing you sandals. Trusted by 50,000 customers, 4.9 out of 5 stars. Just imagine how much more impactful that is. So just a quick example of what Timberland could be doing with that asset to really bring it to life and actually provide some value to the customer rather than just showing kind of a confusing shot of 3 sandals. Like, what are 3? Who's ever got 3 sandals? They come in pairs. It's an odd number. Very strange. So getting into our report card, I was hoping for more, Timberland. I really was. I picked Timberland this week because we had a bad review last week, and I was really hoping, wow, what an iconic brand. Let's get into something good this week. But unfortunately, asset types, they do have statics. However, they're bad. Good use of UGC white labeled, but no motion graphics. So not a great asset type score. Literally no frameworks other than the green screen UGC and some of the UGC testimonials in there, because all of the assets are underutilized. So with that said, really no hooks, again, other than those UGC assets, and no iterations. So I don't know if this is just a legacy strategy. It is a legacy brand. Sometimes it takes some time to catch up to like the e-commerce best practices, but man, was I disappointed here. So Unfortunately, we probably see where this is going again. But where does Timberland stack up from 0 to Ecom Hero? We were hoping for a great score. We did not get it. Timberland 2.7. So much room for opportunity, though. Take those statics, take those product photos, those lifestyle images, overlay the text, really show us what you want to communicate to the customer and do it in an overt way. So, Timberland, not the best score, but easy fixes, low hanging fruit. We'll see you back next week for another episode of Ad Library Teardown.